Hello all, Laxama here. Sit straight. Laxama here. This is I think this might be the last video I put out for January. So the last video talked about my story, right? Where I came from, what shaped me, and why I decided to start this organization. And frankly, the whole idea of Women on Change was born out of curiosity to understand one, the issues that we are facing as a society, and frankly as women. And specifically poverty, I target poverty. Poverty is so broad, so I wanted to understand the different factors that do shape it. And going from, if I have to pick education, so going from a computer science background to a public health background, and in my experience being, the majority of my experience being in management consulting, the IT world, I wanted to understand, I wanted to sort of understand both from my experiences in the communities, from my studying, and of course my professional experience, my world experiences. I wanted to understand where and what shaped different forms, or what resulted of different issues or different groups facing different hardships or situations that resulted in certain way of living. So what resulted of that is Women on Change being born. Again, the idea stemmed from women seeing what women have been dealing with, and then where that started from girls to women. So really, women are not in the, if you think women are somewhat, even though they're the majority of the population, in my opinion, or at least based on what I see, they're still a second class when it comes to the gender fight that's happening. But I think the problem, it didn't start with women. It started here, when from the time that they were born to whatever shaped them to be who they are, right? Our experiences, our environment do shape us. So what resulted of Women on Change, or at least the program that we have in place today, was testing different things and see what works, what didn't work. And what resulted of the program today, STEM mentoring hope, is it started with STEM Exposed. So clearly I felt like to tackle poverty we had to start with young kids, not when they are adults and trying to struggle with different issues and then we're trying to tackle that problem. So education is where I started, and it's something that's very important to me. It's something growing up, even though I grew up poor, I was always told education is key. And my parents sacrificed to be in this country, and I sacrificed, if you heard from my previous video, to be able to come to that. But I don't think every child should have to go through trauma like I did to be able to achieve their dream. So what I wanted to do is create something where girls can feel safe, and people who have the heart to provide their experience to help them to be able to do that. But first I wanted to understand from the kids' perspective. So STEM Exposed was the first program that we did. We tested that for about 2 years just to see what the kids were interested in, and we used STEM as a tool just to see what is it that STEM could do for them, right? Because education, it's an evolving thing, so what was the best tool? So I thought of education because I thought, okay, speed was important, thinking about the future was important. And what I saw with that program was that the kids were so fast. Like, agility was something that stuck out to me. Of course there were other things, but really the way that they were thinking, the speed of how they were thinking, so that really stuck out to me. And it's not something you could measure. So what I did is took that and see, okay, with this agility, with this level of curiosity, how can they use that to create something that they can actually feel like, okay, they can actually survive or thrive on it. So STEM, what I saw was missing during that STEM exposure program was that we had volunteers that were supporting this program. However, what was missing was beyond the volunteering. Once they came to that environment, they left it. That was that. There was no continuum of that program or of that support, the volunteer in that space. Also, the resources that was in that environment. We were using a partner site where they had the latest technologies and all that stuff. So that also played a role. So we took all that experience and decided, what can we add? In STEM Mentoring Hope is where we bring in mentors, not just volunteers during the learning process, but something that they can at least look forward to. So STEM Mentoring Hope is to really bring in the entrepreneurship side, tackling using the technical experience that we know the kids already have and that agility, to see how fast can they use those experiences to create something that means something to them. So it's not a STEM project that has no connection to their world, but it's a problem that's connected to their world, and then we bring in STEM to be able to do that, and in resources with the STEM experience. So we bring mentors who either have STEM background, business background, more importantly, who can really empower kids. So the program, STEM Mentoring Hope, our end goal of that program is to create young leaders who are either champions when it comes to STEM, champions when into creating their ideas, champions to either pursuing their dream, but we wanted to bring them the tool both from a mentoring perspective and from a tool perspective, from a STEM tool perspective. And then what's important is they bring in the creativity, the ideas, and then to try to generate something that actually connects with them. And our end goal with the STEM mentoring program, is to help kids solve problems that they are interested in solving. That not just solving those problems, but they can also economically sustain themselves by doing so. It's not easy. So projects are clearly pretty basic, right? So we taking the funding part of it, so they get a small budget, or at least they know that they have an investor who's interested in this idea, so they have to bring in their best product, they have to advocate for it. It has to be an issue that they know that they can really make an impact in their community. So in a nutshell, that is STEM Mentoring Hope. And our hope for that program is that we are able to help the kids see the potential that they have, and then people who are willing to invest in their potential. And those are the mentors. And of course, me as playing the investor hat. No, I don't have that kind of money. But to let the kids know, you're not just creating something, but someone is interested in that something. And that whether that's your parents, whether that's me, whether that's our board members, whether that's the community, but you have to tell them why it's important to you or your peers or the community or the world, because your creativity, your mind, the way you think matters, and someone care, and you have to be able to at least get them to understand why they should care. Essentially, it's what I'm doing with Women on Change. I'm trying to create something that I'm doing myself with the kids. So I'm learning with them, I'm growing with them, but the only difference is they hold the key to their future. And I'm trying to provide a platform that anybody who wishes to make a difference in their lives, whether it's financial, whether it's time investment, you can do that. And the easiest way to do that is to say, hey, I'm going to start where I am, and then we'll help you do that. And the way we do it is you get a group of 5 girls, at least 3 of your friends who are mentors. The reason for my personal experience dealing with trauma and abuse is that I don't ever want to at least be able to hear or say that, oh my gosh, a kid in our program went through this and that with our mentors. So for the safety of our mentors and our students, no mentor is allowed to meet with students one-on-one. No student is allowed to meet with a mentor one-on-one, because I truly believe that it's important to have a group. And the reason why we do project-based is because we actually believe when you're working in a group and you have that support system, it's important. And it's something I felt like coming to this country, we did have, but at some point that did disappear because people are always going to, it wasn't pure. Anytime somebody's offering you something that's not pure, there's always going to be some expectation. Of course, you won't know that sometimes when it's too late. In my case, in my family's case, we didn't know. And I don't ever want to have anyone that's supporting the kids that we support and the families that we support, the kids that we're supporting, go through anything like that. Now, are we able to guarantee, besides the background check that we do, making sure that no mentor works alone with a group of girls or vice versa? We can never say 100% it will never happen, but we'll put 120% every day to make sure that's not the case, because I know from personal experience, I don't ever want anyone to feel like because you have certain experience or resources, you should exploit another person just because you feel like you can. And that's why Women on Change is aiming to build communities, girls, to be literally independent, whether it's financial, however they feel it's important to them. We want them to feel like they can do that with the help of someone who's willing to give 100% without anything in return. And I'm not saying, yeah, there's always going to be some investment, but when you decide that you're going to give us 2 hours per month out of your time, you want to see where that's going. We understand that, but exploiting another person or population because you know you can, we try to prevent that as much as we can in our environment, because I know how that's like, and I don't ever want anyone to go through that. So that's our program in a nutshell. Any questions? Of course, there's more to it. And the goal of this STEM mentoring, I would say, if anything that's unique about it is the way we're going about it. Because to us, it's not just teaching the kids, but we want them to see as a result how they're transforming as young leaders, and that's based on the projects that they create. So we're a project-based STEM mentoring program, and we do that through folks who are willing to feel hopeful, to give their time and be grateful for their time and resources. With that said, thank you. If you have any questions, as always, shoot a message and reach out to us. And again, I'm Laxima, and thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.